Paul Doswell, the game against Slough Town has been abandoned. What are your thoughts at this stage about it?
Clearly disappointed. I think feelings are running quite high at the moment. We've had a long discussion with the referee and long discussion with their management team. Biggest disappointment is the way their players reacted, certainly in the dressing room, banging our doors and singing 2 or 3 of their songs in there as though they've won the game. And it's almost like, it's disrespectful at this level of football. So I made the point. As I said, I wouldn't have thought Slough would have been like that. But as soon as they went 2-0 down, they just decided they didn't want to continue. The management team put a lot of pressure onto the referee to stop it. And the referee, we scored a minute earlier, and he played on from that. So why a minute later, right, when the rain stopped, why a minute later does he then decide it's dangerous? It's quite incredible.
Do you find it hurtful, disrespectful, the way that the reaction to it all, or how do you reflect on that?
No, it's, the referee has got to make a decision to make it before the game. Is it playable? He decides it is. He's got a decision probably to make at half time. Is it playable? Yes, it is. He's got a decision probably to make when we score the initial second goal. Right? Is it playable? Yes, it is, because he plays on. So why 45 seconds later, when we score another goal, does he then decide it's not? It's because their players basically decided they didn't want to play anymore, got into him, and their management team got into him. And, it wasn't dangerous. I didn't see anyone broken legs or collarbones or anything coming off the pitch prior to that. But as I said, set in the 69th minute, it's playable, and he allows their goalkeeper to take another free kick from an offside, apparent offside, to then decide it's unplayable a minute later.
Of course, the rain came down quite heavily when the decision was made to abandon the game, and the 15-20 minutes or so after the abandonment, the rain has subsided. Is that even more frustrating, the fact that when you consider the conditions and the way the game was going, it probably could have actually finished?
Look, my personal opinion is that the pitch wasn't playable. There you go. I don't think the pitch was particularly playable, but it probably wasn't particularly playable in the first half, and we were defending the hardest half to defend. You saw the ball splat past Robson and Beckwith on 3 or 4 occasions, but it's not my decision. My decision is to send my team out prepared and ready for the conditions. So on the back of that, we come in at half time, we're 1-0 up against the slope, going up the hill. It's a great half for us. So, as I said, in normal circumstances, you wouldn't expect the football to have kept going, but because it had, there was no reason, in my opinion, that it needed to stop. It was the same for both sides. One side was 2-0 up and the other side wasn't.
And of course now it's another fixture which we'll have to pencil in between the two clubs somewhere along the line.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a disappointment, but it will make the return game, I would have thought, a little bit tasty. Because, the way they celebrated at the end, you thought they'd won a game of football and won points. So, it's a strange thing, football. Like I said, we'll have to make sure that we're ready for the replay like we were ready today.
And finally, how much would you like to applaud the professionalism of your players, and secondly our fans who were absolutely superb and took the decision as well as they possibly could, and now in the bar having a few beers?
Thought the players were outstanding, kept to the game plan that we talked about. I spoke to John Underwood. He said, the back pass that my player played for the second goal, I said, well, he was stupid for doing a back pass then, John, wasn't he? Because from day one, minute 1 here, we knew that we weren't be able to play the ball back. And that's what we're talking about. You're talking about finite things. And, if we're saying don't throw the ball back, don't kick it back to the keeper because we know it's going to stop, does that make it playable from the first minute? You watched it, what do you think?
The conditions really, it didn't really change throughout. It was wet, the dew and the surface. There was surface water throughout the game.
I think the referee had a decision to make at half time. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. Or certainly maybe after 55 minutes when the rain had really come down. To allow it to keep going 55, 60, 65, 70, 20 minutes more wouldn't have made any difference one way or the other.
Paul, very much appreciate your honesty, especially as it's so raw after the event, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, Henry.